This is not a video that I wanted to make. I do my very best to avoid politics, and when I do, to be 0% cheerleading and just try to stick to the facts and let you guys decide whatever it is that you're going to do. But I have to talk about this. David Hogg was just voted the vice chair of the Democratic National Committee. David Hogg's the same person who back in October 2023 said this: if you don't support banning semi-automatic rifles, you should leave the Democratic Party. I believe that the Second Amendment should absolutely be about all of us. The Second Amendment is about everyone. It's we the people, not we the Republicans or we the Democrats. It's none of that stuff. It's we the people. We are all the people. There are millions of self-defense shootings and uses of firearms in the United States from coast to coast every single year. Don't believe me? We have that information in no small part thanks to President Barack Obama, who in 2013 commissioned the Center for Disease Control to examine the issue of the defensive use of firearms. They came up with a range of about 500,000 on the low end to about 3 million self-defense uses of firearms. Not that many are reported, but just yesterday, I talked to someone who was involved in a self-defense firearm case and elected not to call the cops. I talk to these people way more frequently than most of you would ever believe. I can't really talk about it all the time because, hey, I'm an attorney, right? There's things I can't talk about. I think you get that. I don't think David Hogg gets that. I have hope that the Second Amendment will not be a political football forever. And that's my fear. When a right is construed as, well, that's for those people and we're against it. That's how we lose our rights. And no one wins. If you take away firearms, who are the people who are going to be winning in that equation? Who? Is it going to be vulnerable folks who live in tough areas that we know have massive crime problems? Is it going to be the single mom with 3 kids who is just working to pay their bills and make it by? And yeah, they're trying to get out of the neighborhood that they're in. But what do you know? 3 military-age males break into their home. She can't do anything about it. Is she the winner in this equation, even if they don't have guns? But part of obviously what makes a criminal is the fact that they are not listening to the laws. Anti-gun advocates keep spouting the lie that you are safer without guns. Just go along if someone tries to rob you. But if you follow the statistics, I'm just going to pull them here on my phone. According to, the Department of Justice and the National Crime Victimization Survey, when you compare, let's just do women here. When you compare women who resist with a firearm an attacker, they are 250% more likely to not be injured compared to people who do not resist at all. They are 400% more likely to not be injured compared to those who physically resist but without a gun. About the same thing holds true for men. Hey, really quickly, 2 things. Number 1, if you're enjoying this video, of course, all the YouTube things, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Number 2, we've got a sponsor for this video, and that's my law firm. It takes me, I think as you can guess, a fair amount of time to research for these videos, put them together, come and film them, all that kind of good stuff. Not to mention Derek, our brave videographer and editor, who is, of course, working full-time for the law firm to come in and do all that kind of good stuff as well. So something you can do if you're enjoying our legal education content is please consider giving our Google My Business page for the law firm a 5-star review. It's something that really helps out the practice, which at the end of the day allows me to come here and play internet lawyer for you. So It's absolutely free, takes a few moments. Just check it out in the pinned comment below. It's also in the description box. Follow the link. It asks you to rate us on 0 to 5 stars. Keep in mind, this is the internet. 3-4 stars, kind of a failing grade. So if you felt like you get good, decent legal education content, please consider leaving a 5-star review. I appreciate it very, very much. Now back to the program. The evidence is in. When some bad guy shows up, you want a firearm. And tens of millions of Americans agree. Mr. Hogg, you want to ban semi-automatic rifles? You know what one of the most popular firearms are for home defense? The AR-15. You know this. Semi-automatic rifle. Fantastic home defense weapon. You want to ban it. And I'm sure that you want to ban, I know you want to ban basically all firearms as well. You are not an ignorant person. You are not a dumb person. You have the statistics. Why can't you follow the evidence? Why can't you follow the science of what's out there? Of the fact that when a bad guy tries to rob you, even just displaying the firearm, 92% of the time the bad guy runs away. 92%. No one had to get hurt in that scenario. No one. And that's not me who said that. That's, again, the National Crime Victimization Survey from 2000. That's the Bureau of Justice Statistics who said that. We don't carry firearms to take life. We carry firearms to save life. The last thing any sane person with a gun wants to do is point their gun at another person and have to pull the trigger. But many of us will, if forced. If it's us or them, and we didn't create that trade-off. Someone else decided that they're going to force that decision on us. That's not your right, Mr. Hogg, to make that decision for us. You don't have the right to condemn tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of Americans to oppression and become victims of violence just because they aren't as strong or physically as able as their attackers. I don't care if you're talking about many women. I don't care if you're talking about many older folks. I don't care if you're talking about people with disabilities. That is not your decision to make for them. That is their God-given right for them to decide for themselves. And don't get me wrong, I sincerely hope that they will take advantage of the best training, the best education that they can to make sure that they are responsible, law-abiding gun owners. That's what makes us all safer. Good people with a firearm. Doesn't matter if they're wearing a badge or not. We are all safer when there are good people with firearms. Period. That's what every study says. 41.3% of active shooters are stopped by a good guy without a badge carrying a firearm. If you go outside gun-free zones, that statistic climbs to over 63%. 63%. You want to take away the tools of 63% of the responses. 63% of the time when lives are being saved, you're like, that's too high. We got to push those numbers down. That's from the Crime Prevention Research Center, 2023. But all this misses the point because laws don't stop bad guys. Good guys do. And we're just trying to be good. People with a concealed carry license are about 5.7 times less likely to be arrested for a violent offense compared to people who do not have one. That's pretty good. Those are the people who I want responsibly armed. Those are the people I want to be able to step in and stop evil, to stop violence, and to save lives and victims when absolutely necessary. And Mr. Hogg, if this is all about just saving lives, AR-15s, we can track about 60 deaths to them each year in the United States. I'm not trying to make light of that. One death is an unspeakable tragedy. But backyard swimming pools kill 380 children each year. If this is about utilitarian math, filling swimming pools. There's no right to a backyard swimming pool. About 17 people each year die from ice skating. There's no right to ice skating. Ice skating's not out there saving lives, not saving hundreds of thousands of lives every single year. Why not ban that? If you're all about saving lives, let's do it, but prove it. Start where we don't have rights first, and then let's work from there. But all that kind of misses the point of this video, because the point of this video is that I have had, and I will continue to have, sincere hope for the American left to adopt a pro-liberty perspective where all rights are concerned, but especially for us here, firearms in the Second Amendment. I've always been told by, I can't tell you how many people, it's not like there's Democrats out there trying to work to take away your guns. Over the last 10 years, the mask has been off. Not every Democrat is trying to take a gun, but we need more who are pro-liberty and pro-freedom that will allow you to protect yourself. Be armed, but not only with a firearm, with education and training. Be armed, not only with shall not be infringed, but with knowledge of the facts, the arguments, and the evidence to persuade others to your point of view. We're going to see how the general left responds to our current presidential administration, to President Trump. There's certainly a lot of fear about what he might do. We will see if that fear will be remembered the next time there's a Democrat in the White House and they want to talk about gun control. I fear that it won't be. I appreciate you sticking around this long. Be sure to hit that like button. Now let's close out with a quote from Aristotle, who once said, quote, "Wise men speak when they have something to say. Fools speak because they have something to say." Let me know, who do you think are the wise people in this picture down in the comment field below. I appreciate you sticking around this long, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this one, please feel free to check out some of our other great content, and we'll see you in the next one.